consistency and performance. And but I also think we're going to have a lot of young players contribute to this team because we don't have the depth that we had in that situation at LSU. And how those players mature and how those players develop early in this season is going to have a lot to say about how well we do, especially early.
Body language, you can tell so much from that. How different is it from year one at Alabama to year two at Alabama with your players?
It's like a different place. Like a different place. The buy-in's great. The attitude is much better. I know you guys read about the one or two guys who make mistakes, but we've got 30 or 40 guys on our team that are doing a lot better academically. They're doing a lot better as people. You know, they're doing a lot better as football players, and I think that's going to start showing up on the field in the kind of judgments, choices, decisions that guys make, and it's going to help them be successful in the future.
John Parker Wilson has had flashes. How confident are you in John Parker Wilson in his final year this year?
I'm extremely confident in John Parker. He played outstanding for us at times last year, but again, you go back to that same word, consistency and performance. And if we can get John Parker to be a little bit more businesslike and eliminate some of the bad plays, he certainly got the talent and the ability, and he's had a great offseason. He had a great bowl game last year, so you know, we feel good about the future, and we feel good about what he can do for our team this year.
Nick Saban, head coach, Alabama, here with us on the roundtable on JOX on New 94.5. We were talking to Tom Brandstater, quarterback out of Fresno State, about Jim McElwain coming in, and he said the biggest impact that Coach Mack had on him was just to shut up and listen, because he had an attitude, you know, not an attitude, but he was borderline cocky and not confident. And Coach Mack knocked that out of him and said, this is what we're doing. Work on this, and you're going to be a better football player. And I think we all agree he ended up being one of the finer quarterbacks toward the end of last year. Have you seen that with John Parker?
Well, I think our approach with John Parker has been to, you got to, you know, these quarterbacks are emotional. You know, they're emotional guys that, you know, they want to play and take chances and try to get it in there when they shouldn't, and a lot of those things backfire on you. And what we've tried to do, and I think Mac's done a good job with this as well, is, hey, this is business, man. You got to make a business decision about the choices you make so it doesn't affect the team and we don't have these consequences. And you can't be so emotional when you're playing quarterback. You know, you got to take the approach that you're buying stock, all right, not just out there flinging it around because there's too many bad things that happen.
The perception is Nick Saban's 24/7 football, nothing else. That's the way you're wired. What do you do to get away from the game? Have you been to any good concerts lately? Do you go to good movies?
Yeah, I bet you that I've done more and had more fun than any coach. And, you know, somebody's responsible for putting that perception out there. I saw the Eagles. I see my man Joe Walsh. I mean, I go to the lake. I ski. I go on a jet ski. I do all
So
kinds
you have
of
more
stuff.
fun than Tommy Tuberville.
I don't know about that. I understand. I don't know why I have this perception, but I do.
I'll tell you
it
one.
doesn't bother me.
I'll tell you one thing that we love and we look forward to every single Monday during football season is your press conference.
Oh, love them. We get to carry it live.
We order lunch and we carry it and we just wait for that moment. And you know the moment we're talking about.
It's just. We call it Nicky's Nugget because there's an opportunity that you might have a blow-up, that you get a little agitated by some of the questions that come out.
Some of the questions are not just stupid, moronic. But how much of that is calculated to deliver a message to your players by undressing one of us?
Well, I think sometimes I got to admit that you do use the media to send a message to your players. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody in doing that, but I always try to have a message for our fans. In terms of the direction that we're trying to plot, in terms of the circumstances that we've created for ourselves, whether they're good or bad or whatever, whether we got to overcome a tough loss or whether we got to live with the success of winning 2 or 3, I think there's always a message that everybody needs to hear and understand so that you continue to improve. I mean, it's important to overcome adversity, but it's also important to be able to deal with success. And in every one of those Monday press conferences, it's one or the other.
Freshmen coming in. No coach really wants to play freshmen unless they are ridiculously talented. How many freshmen are going to potentially play for you this year that are going to have an impact on your football team?
Well, I think it's going to be twofold for us. I think that how they develop and how they mature is going to contribute to that. So I'm not putting an unrealistic expectation on these guys, but we do have some talented guys. All right, but we do have some needs on our team where we need some players to be able to step up and play that are young players. So there's opportunity for some guys to play too. And I think how that all kind of develops, you know, in this two-a-day and how rapidly these guys mature is going to go a long way to say how our team develops.
You ever been thrown out of a water park?
Yeah. How'd you know that?
Well, here's a buddy of yours named Joe Manchin who joined us previously on the round table.
So I said, come on, we're going to take the kids to the water park. So every year they look forward to it. We would have races down slick slides and water slides. Well, he and I would, everything we did, it was a competition. If we flew a kite, who could fly the kite the lowest and bring it? We did everything competition. But when we came to the water slides, we would always compete with the kids who could go the fastest down the water slides. The kids were beating us one day, and the lifeguard kept blowing the whistle at us. I said, brother, we're about ready to get thrown out. He said, well, if we're going to go, let's go in style. So we said, now, let me make sure. I said, we told the lifeguard, now, are you sure if we go double, are you going to throw us out? We'll throw you out immediately. He said, now, are you sure we're going to get thrown out? Yes, you will. He says, let's hit her. So we both jumped on each other's back and went down the slicky slide, went over top of my daughter and everybody else in our way before we hit the bottom. And we both got thrown out of the pool, and the kids just never let it down.
No, he wasn't governor, and I wasn't the head coach. But it's that kind of spirit, competitive spirit, that got him to be governor and got me to be a head coach.
We don't want to judge, but you're on another man's back in a water park, and then last week you were in an 8-foot boat with 2 other guys.
What was your first thought when you saw that boat or that dinghy?
I'm saying the next time I do something with these guys, I'm inviting them to my boat.
Coach, good to see you, my friend.
Best
of luck and keep them healthy, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us.